Most men think choosing a woman is simple. Follow your heart, trust your attraction, hope for the best. But here's the truth few dare to say. Desire is a trap, emotion is a weapon, and the woman you choose can either make you unstoppable or destroy you silently. Machiavelli, the ultimate observer of human nature, understood this centuries ago. He knew that men rarely fail because they lack love. They fail because they misjudge strategy. Choosing a woman is not a romantic gamble. It is a test of power, judgment, and foresight. It's about understanding her mind, her motives, and the invisible influence she will wield over your life. And yet, the world teaches men nothing about this. Today, we uncover the dangerous, unspoken Machiavellian truths about choosing women. If you pay attention, this knowledge will elevate your life, sharpen your instincts, and protect your power in ways few men ever experience. 1. She reflects your power. Machiavelli observed that every person in your life is a mirror reflecting back the energy, authority, and value you project. Nowhere is this more crucial than in the woman you choose to stand beside you. She is not merely a companion or a source of comfort. She is a barometer of your own status, an amplifier of your presence, and a test of your discernment. A woman of strength, intelligence, and independence does more than compliment you. She elevates you, she challenges your mind, pushes your limits, and commands respect from everyone around you. Her mere presence signals that you are a man capable of attracting quality, someone whose life is worth investing in. She becomes a lens through which others perceive your value. In her company, your weaknesses are exposed, but so are your strengths, magnified, sharpened, made undeniable. She does not merely walk beside you, she sets a higher standard for the world to acknowledge. On the other hand, a weak, insecure, or dependent woman functions as a subtle but relentless drain. Her chaos seeps into your life unnoticed at first. Indecision clouds your plans, petty drama saps your energy, and small crises chip away at your authority until you feel unmoored. The erosion is gradual, almost invisible, until you wake up one day and realize your confidence, focus, and influence have quietly diminished. Most men never see this coming because they are seduced by fleeting beauty, convenience, or the illusion of affection, failing to recognize that a partner is not meant merely to fill a void. They are meant to fortify your life. Machiavelli's teaching is uncompromising. Choose a woman who strengthens your world, not destabilizes it. She must be a source of power, a reflection that magnifies your presence, and a catalyst that forces you to rise. Anything less is a subtle form of surrender, a slow surrender to mediocrity disguised as intimacy. In the grand game of life, your partner is never just a personal choice. She is a strategic extension of your influence, a living testament to the man you are and the man you are capable of becoming. 2. Desire is a dangerous compass. Lust is a powerful drug, and like all intoxicants, it clouds the mind, distorts reality, and deceives the unwary. Machiavelli was blunt in his assessment. Men too often mistake the fire of desire for a compass, letting their impulses dictate choices that should be measured, calculated, and strategic. A fleeting spark of attraction can feel like destiny, but in truth, it is a treacherous illusion, a siren song that masks the subtle consequences lurking beneath. A woman who excites you, who thrills you in ways that make your pulse race, may not be an ally in the pursuit of your greatness. She might be brilliant at weaving dependence, subtly entangling you in obligations and distractions you barely notice. Her charm could mask a hidden agenda, an unconscious sabotage of your focus, your ambitions, even your reputation. To the man blinded by desire, these dangers remain invisible until the damage is already done. The strategic man, the one who truly understands power, does not measure a woman by the intensity of his attraction. He looks deeper, asking a question that separates desire from wisdom. Does her presence elevate me, or does it subtly divert me from my path? This is not a cold calculation devoid of emotion. It is clarity in action. Passion without foresight is chaos. Clarity without passion is control. A man who confuses the two will find himself entrapped, seduced by lust, while watching his empire erode. Real power is never guided by impulse. It comes from the ability to see the long game, to discern the shadow a woman casts over your life as clearly as you see the light she brings. Desire is a dangerous compass because it leads most men into storms they never intended to sail. The wise man treats lust as a signal, not a directive, an awareness to be respected, but never obeyed blindly. Only when passion is tempered by strategic insight can attraction become an instrument of empowerment rather than a chain of subtle destruction. 3. Observe loyalty and predict betrayal. Machiavelli understood that loyalty is never absolute. It is always conditional, a reflection of circumstance rather than character. To assume permanence in human allegiance is to invite disaster. Every man must recognize this truth, not as a cynical worldview, but as a measure of preparedness. Power is built not on blind trust, but on clear-eyed observation of how others behave when the stakes are real. When choosing a woman, watch her closely, not during moments of comfort or ease, but under pressure when the masks slip and the veneer of charm fades. Notice how she treats those who hold nothing to offer her. Observe her choices when consequences loom large, when favors go unreturned, or when opportunity conflicts with principle. In these moments, patterns emerge, revealing the substance beneath the surface. Words are cheap, promises are fleeting, but actions are truth made visible. A woman may swear devotion, speak of unwavering commitment, and craft an image of loyalty, but it is her behavior that exposes her true intentions. Does she honor agreements when no one is watching? Does she protect your interests as fiercely as her own? Does she navigate challenges with integrity or manipulate situations to her advantage? These questions are not tests of cynicism, they are instruments of survival and empowerment. Machiavelli's lesson is clear. Invest only when her actions consistently align with your boundaries, ambitions, and principles. Allow no exceptions. A single lapse may be a warning. Repeated patterns are a verdict. By observing behavior and predicting betrayal, you do not strip the relationship of trust. You elevate it to a strategic alliance, one in which both parties operate with clarity, accountability, and mutual enhancement. In the intricate game of influence and power, foresight is far more valuable than blind faith, and vigilance is the silent armor of every man who refuses to be undone by deception. 4. Emotional independence is non-negotiable. Machiavelli knew that power begins within. A man who cannot master his own emotions is perpetually at the mercy of external forces, vulnerable to whims, manipulations, and chaos. Before you can shape your world, command respect, or influence others, you must first hold dominion over yourself. Emotional sovereignty is not optional. It is the foundation of every strategic action, every calculated decision, and every meaningful relationship. Choosing a woman who lacks emotional independence is a trap, subtle but devastating. When your happiness, confidence, or inner peace hinges on her moods, attention, or approval, the balance of power shifts. You are no longer the architect of your life. She becomes an unacknowledged ruler of your emotional state. Small insecurities become crises. Minor disagreements feel catastrophic, and her validation becomes your invisible leash. Most men fail to see the danger until their energy, focus, and authority are quietly eroded. The woman worthy of your partnership is not one who demands to feed from your emotional reserves, but one who complements your independence. She admires your strength rather than trying to reshape it. She stands beside you without tethering you, supports your vision without undermining it, and mirrors your clarity rather than feeding your chaos. Her presence should magnify your sovereignty, not compromise it. Machiavelli's lesson is unflinching. Protect your inner world at all costs. Guard your peace. Preserve your autonomy, and never allow external attachment to dictate your value. Emotional independence is not arrogance, it is armor. A man who masters it cannot be manipulated, cannot be controlled, and cannot be diminished by the desires or insecurities of another. In the grand calculus of power, the preservation of self is not just a strategy, it is survival. 5. Long-term vision. Trump's short-term pleasure life is a chessboard, not a racetrack. Machiavelli understood that true mastery comes not from reacting to immediate impulses, but from anticipating the moves of years ahead. Every decision you make, especially the choice of a partner, must be measured against the long-term consequences, not the instant rush of pleasure. Choosing a woman is not about the thrill of desire in the moment. It is about whether she aligns with your trajectory, enhances your empire, and endures the tests that time inevitably imposes. Ask yourself, will this woman remain steadfast when trials arise, when fortune turns against us, or when the glitter of excitement fades into the reality of life? Will she elevate my existence, complement my ambitions, and act with integrity even when no one is watching? Or is she a brilliant, transient spark, blinding, intoxicating, but fleeting, leaving behind disruption, distraction, and a subtle depletion of my energy and focus? The difference between the two is subtle, yet decisive. Most men fail this test. They choose fleeting passion, intoxicated by the warmth of attraction, the comfort of immediate pleasure, or the illusion of intimacy. In doing so, they trade strategic value for ephemeral satisfaction. The result is not a single moment of disappointment. It is a slow erosion, an invisible theft of respect, momentum, and life direction. Every moment spent with the wrong partner chips away at your authority, your clarity, and your ability to pursue your grand vision. Machiavelli's lesson is unforgiving, but vital. The measure of a partner is not in how she feels in the present, but in how she shapes the years to come. Desire may seduce, but foresight governs destiny. A man who chooses wisely, guided by long-term vision rather than transient impulse, does not merely avoid loss, he compounds his power, his influence, and his ability to command life on his own terms. The woman who endures, elevates, and aligns with your purpose is not just a partner, she is a strategic ally in the architecture of your future. 6. Actions reveal. True value. Words are cheap. Promises are fleeting. Flattery is effortless. Machiavelli's timeless wisdom underscores a critical truth. Character is revealed not in what is said, but in what is consistently done. A woman's true value, like the hidden strength of a fortress, is seen in her actions, in the patterns she leaves behind over time. Observe her carefully. Watch how she behaves when there is nothing to gain, when incentives vanish, and when no audience applauds her performance. Does she honor commitments quietly, without fanfare? Does she respect your time, your boundaries, and your autonomy? Or does she subtly encroach, testing the limits of your patience? Pay attention to how she handles adversity and frustration. Does she maintain composure, solve problems strategically, and act with integrity? Or does she spiral into blame, drama, or manipulation? These moments reveal far more than words ever could. A woman whose actions consistently align with respect, wisdom, and independence is rare. A true partner who strengthens your life, reflects your value, and amplifies your influence. She is not merely attractive or charming, she is a strategic asset, a living extension of your strength and vision. The rest, however, are distractions and potential threats. They may charm, entice, or seduce, but their patterns undermine stability, drain energy, and erode respect. They are the quiet erosion that men often fail to recognize until the damage is done. Machiavelli's lesson is sharp and unyielding. Judge a woman not by her words or her promises, but by the consistency, quality, and alignment of her actions. Only then can a man distinguish true value from dangerous illusion. 7. Never choose from fear or loneliness. Fear is the silent enemy of strategy. It creeps into decisions, distorts judgment, and convinces men to settle for less than they deserve. Choosing a partner from fear, fear of being alone, fear of rejection, fear that time is slipping away, is not a choice at all, it is surrender. In these moments, a man hands over his power without realizing it, trading sovereignty for temporary comfort, and mistaking desperation for intimacy. Machiavelli's teaching is unambiguous. Only those who act from strength, not scarcity, command respect. Decisions born of desperation reveal weakness, and weakness invites exploitation. Choosing a woman must be an act of will, a conscious selection made from abundance and confidence, not from need or emptiness. You must first be whole, self-sufficient, and unshakable before you allow another into the architecture of your life. The strategic man never lets absence, desire, or loneliness dictate his choices. He walks alone with confidence, mastering his emotions, observing the world with clarity, and recognizing the subtle forces that reveal true character. When he finally chooses a woman, it is never out of fear. It is a deliberate decision to align with someone who elevates his life, complements his power, and amplifies his influence. Machiavelli's lesson is as stark as it is vital. To choose from weakness is to undermine your own authority. To choose from strength is to preserve it, enhance it, and project it into the world with certainty. The man who understands this principle does not chase companionship. He selects a partner as one would select a strategic ally, measured, deliberate, and worthy of his empire of influence. The art of choosing a woman is never a matter of love, luck, or fleeting passion. It is a battlefield, a subtle, unforgiving contest where observation, patience, and strategy decide the victor. Machiavelli's lessons are brutal in their clarity. A woman is never neutral in your life. She either elevates your power, sharpens your edge, and reinforces your influence, or she slowly erodes your strength, clouds your judgment, and diminishes your authority without warning. To navigate this battlefield, you must think like a strategist. Test her actions over her words, for consistency reveals true character. Expect loyalty, but prepare for betrayal. Vigilance is not paranoia, it is armor. Protect your emotional independence at all costs, because a man who surrenders his inner sovereignty surrenders everything. Measure attraction not by sparks or desire, but by long-term alignment, integrity, and strategic value. Recognize that fleeting passion is a mirage. Only foresight ensures that your choice reinforces, rather than diminishes, your life. The world rewards men who act with clarity, patience, and unwavering strategic vision. Most men stumble blindly, seduced by charm or impulsive desire. Few succeed, guided by the timeless wisdom of Machiavelli. Those who choose wisely do more than secure a partner. They command circumstances, safeguard their power, and cultivate a life unconstrained by the whims of others. Remember this: a woman is not a mere companion. She is a force that can either build your empire or dismantle it silently. Machiavelli's hidden truth is that choosing her wisely is not optional. It is a matter of survival, influence, and ultimate success. The men who master this art become unstoppable. Their presence commands respect, their vision remains uncompromised, and their lives are a fortress no chaos can breach. The rest? They remain prisoners of their own impulsive choices, forever reacting, forever diminished, forever haunted by the consequences of poor judgment. In the end, choosing a woman is a measure of a man's power, discipline, and foresight. It is a strategic act, a test of mastery, and a declaration: I will not be ruled by passion, fear, or need. I will be guided only by clarity, strength, and the relentless pursuit of excellence.